And welcome back to Elevated Aura Self Love Challenge. We are on day 21 today. Take a deep breath and let that sink in. 21 days ago, you started this journey, and we started off with the Ho'opono prayer. And now I hope that you are in a much different space. Even if it's starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit weird, the good news when you're starting to feel at least a little uncomfortable on a healing journey is that you're allowing yourself to see the different perceptions that exist, the different opportunities. And that's what I really wanted to talk to you about on today's challenge, because the energy of the week between February 20th and 26th is absolutely huge. You may have heard people talking a lot about 222, 2022. Yes, we're going to get into talking about a little bit of that energy, but truthfully, it's not just that one day, it's the energy of this entire week that is absolutely peppered with inspiration and creativity. Now, the big question of the week, the big question that 22222 is asking us is, what in me invited this to be? In other words, when something bad happens to you, or even when something good happens to you, there is sometimes this victim consciousness that rings out. So we like to find somebody to blame outside of ourself. And the problem when we start looking for blame outside of ourself, especially when something feels yucky, like maybe we're feeling jealous or envious or angry. The problem when we don't ask this question with a curiosity, an innocent curiosity of what in me invited this to be, is that we really get stuck in this victim, rescuer, abuser kind of vibe. Now, I have this on my screen for a reason. You can see how these three different aspects of victim, rescuer, abuser, it forms a triangle. And a triangle, energetically, spiritually, is one of the most powerful shapes, because if you know about the Merkaba of the face, if you have done that work with me, then you know that the energy can spin. And when it's a victim, rescuer, abuser triangle energy, it can spin on its own. And when energy is spinning on its own, it is creating more and more. It's like looking for food, it's looking for evidence to prove that it's correct. Now, this triangle is known as the self sabotage cycle because it depends on fear and doubt and hesitancy in order to continue. So, I'm going to give you an example out of my personal life because I don't really know a better way to explain this, and I don't know anyone's life as well as my own. So, as you know, I was the target of abuse in a narcissistic family of origin that was absolutely riddled with a whole lot of dysfunction and abuse. Now, I could forever view myself as a victim of that. And I did for a long time, especially even starting my company. I had very much so a victim mindset. And that victim mindset pushed me into becoming what I believed was a rescuer. I was trying to help other people get out of narcissistic abuse, get out of narcissistic relationships. I was trying to help people learn self love so that they could get out of these victim type relationships. But the problem in me believing that I was a victim and that I was sent to rescue other people is that I was essentially abusing my abusers. Now, hear me out. By sharing everything, not everything, but by sharing a lot of the details of what was happening in my childhood, and by not really sharing other people's perceptions, but only my own perception, I allowed this triangle to continue. And in truth, when you're sharing something that happened, even if it's true on social media, that's actually an anger trauma response. It's not healthy. I did it, but I'm telling you that I did it because it didn't make anything better. It literally just kind of put me in the abuser's chair. Because in truth, it doesn't matter if somebody slapped me, punched me, bit me, kicked me, shot me, it doesn't matter. I do not have permission, because that happened to me, to go do that to somebody else. And this is why that triangle is so damaging. It's again why we call it that self sabotage cycle. Because if you continue to believe that, well, I am a victim, that I need this special permission, I need to have this, right? You have to come rescue me because this happened to me, then really we start abusing people with our victimness. You can't say this, you can't do that because this happened to me. Well, who does that sound like? Definitely doesn't sound like somebody who's healed and ready to embrace all different types of people with all different types of needs, does it? So, this is why I want to introduce you to an empowered mindset. So, really start paying attention to your journal. Look at the word choices that you're using. We talked about spelling. Instead of a victim, what if you were a healer? You were healing generational trauma. You were healing the dysfunctional wounds of your ancestors, of your lineage. You were putting the stop in. And as a healer, as somebody who has done this work before, you inherently become a mentor to others by living a life that feels authentically good to you and by showing up in a way that makes other people say like, "Hey, that that girl's got something, right?" Like she went through something really hard, but it didn't change her in a negative way. It seems like it empowered her. And that's where we become the teacher. So this is an entirely different energetic structure, but it's still a triangle, which means this energy, just like that self-sabotage cycle, is going to spin just like that Merkaba, and it's going to keep looking for evidence, keep looking for more support to prove that it is correct. Now, these are small little differences. Another small little difference that I've recently started incorporating into my life that has made a big change is that instead of looking at something as expensive, I say, okay, that's a premium price. Am I willing to pay it? And while these mindset shifts take time, if not years, right? Because you have to remember, you've spent years thinking, believing, reading, acting one way. Now we're changing the script on you. It's almost like you're starring in a movie of your own life. You are the main star of the show. Don't try to give your role away to some supporting actor or actress. You are the main star. And as the main star, there's going to be shit that happens to you. But instead of reading through the script and saying, like, okay, this is going to be a dramatic scene, there's going to be a lot of tears, I don't like this, I'm an ugly crier. What if you're like, okay, what in me invited this to be? What in me is reaching out because there's something inside me that has reached a level of sadness, right? And I've shared a little bit with you, but like I said, recently I've been working through this emotion related to jealousy. So I've been asking myself, what in me invited this to be? And the answer always it keeps coming back stronger and stronger. I'm getting clarity that the thing that I'm asking about is actually much more important to me than I've ever been able to fully express or allow myself to realize. And in sharing that information, it makes me a little bit vulnerable. And vulnerability is not necessarily a comfortable place for me to be, but it's necessary. So, this is going to be your challenge today and really all week. I'm going to be still sending out different challenges for the rest of the week, but this is going to be the main event, the main challenge, because this challenge is not only the challenge for day 21 or of February or of your life, but it's a huge challenge in February, or excuse me, in 2022 itself. Can you maintain a high frequency? Can you believe in love and peace and joy even when there's all of this chaos going on all around you? Can you smile at the chaos and say in your mind, I know that this is just an illusion because I know that everything is working out best case scenario. I know that I'm loved by the universe. I know that I am consistently and constantly supported. That is the challenge of today. That is the challenge of the week. If you guys have any questions about this, if you have any questions about mindset or the Merkaba of the face, let me know. And honestly, sending you guys so much love. This is a huge, huge, huge energetic week. There's going to be so much love, so much magic. Can't wait to see you on the flip side.